Hello, my name is Phil Enquist, and I'm here at the edge of Lake Michigan in the city of Chicago, a city of about 2.7 million people in an urban region of close to 10 million people. Lake Michigan is part of the Great Lakes system. It's one of 5 Great Lakes and makes up 20% of the Earth's surface fresh water. Over 40 million people live in this watershed between Canada and the United States. These lakes are about 14,000 years old and a gift of the glaciers. Today I want to talk to you about the concept of living shorelines, restoring native landscapes along water edges, whether they be lakes or rivers, wetlands or streams. This concept applies to all cities around the world and can be implemented at all scales, large scales like you will see here, or small scales, and private land or public land. Today we're in the Burnham Sanctuary, a great example of a living shoreline. It's only about a 20-year-old landscape. Before that, it was grass, mowed lawns, a degraded landscape that supported no life. Today it's tallgrass prairie, and we're surrounded by cricket noises that are just wonderful. It's an example of how cities and humans can partner with nature and the wilderness. Why is this important? We're also along the Mississippi Flyway. This flyway connects South and Central America all the way to the Arctic Ocean. 40% of North American migratory birds fly on this broad Mississippi Flyway. But as you know, as cities grow and industries develop, these areas of wildlife are eliminated. We lose wilderness. 3 billion birds have been lost in North America, as identified by the journal Science. And recent studies show that most bird species are in decline. But in a short amount of time, this tall grass prairie landscape has achieved diverse gardens. We have pollinator gardens here, butterfly gardens, bird nesting habitat and feeding grounds, and it's recreational parkland for humans right in the center of Chicago. Just north of the Burnham Sanctuary is Northerly Island. It's 120 acres, a peninsula jutting out into Lake Michigan. It is a place with a colorful history. It was proposed as one of a chain of barrier islands that became instead the World's Fair site of 1933, a century of progress. It evolved after that into an airport, Meigs Field. In 2003, a native prairie landscape supporting wildlife was introduced to the full peninsula and the airport was removed. Now it is a tall grass prairie. It has lagoons, hills, hiking trails, and bicycle paths. Lincoln Park, just north of downtown, is one of Chicago's largest public parks. And in 2010, a large portion of the park was converted into a prairie ecosystem. Lincoln Park Zoo manages the landscape with community volunteers. The pond itself was naturalized, all of the concrete removed. Much of the upslope landscape is oak savanna. It is also an outdoor classroom, an example of coexistence between cities and nature. The Wild Mile is one of the most innovative living shoreline examples because it has no shoreline. The North Branch of the Chicago River is a narrow waterway, and this is the first ever floating ecological park, not alongside the Chicago River, but in the river. Inspired by a student research project and created by a not-for-profit called Urban Rivers, it's a bottom-up, community-driven project with real science research occurring, studying water quality and the introduction of native habitat. Further up the North Branch of the Chicago River, about 20 miles, is the Cook County Forest Preserve's Skokie Lagoons and the Crow Island Woods. Land preserves with restoration efforts, habitat for wildlife, recreation for the region. Large lagoons protect the neighborhoods from flooding. These vast landscapes look natural, but have been man-made, human-made. restoration of woodlands, grasslands, and wetlands. In 1915, Jens Jensen, a Danish landscape architect, and Dwight Perkins, a Chicago architect, were two of many that formed the idea of the forest preserve system 110 years ago. And now today, it's 70,000 acres of forest open space. In summary, Living Shorelines is not just a collection of projects. Most cities in North America, through quiet leadership, are creating nature-based landscape solutions. This is a movement that must accelerate in this century. The living shoreline concept is one of many ways humans partner with nature. I hope this talk inspires all of you to rediscover and embrace your own watershed that defines your region, your home, your wildlife, your wilderness. Architects and planners can become stewards of the natural landscape and set policies to ensure nature has a place in our built world. In only 30 years, 2055, we are projected to reach 10 billion people on the planet. We can innovate a human-nature partnership, unprecedented in our history, and change the way we build our urban regions. Thank you.